The other, well, I suppose you call it a collaboration, is between you and Balenciaga.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how kind of important was that in your career?
That was enormous. That was enormous. I mean, up until that point, it was still, and I've said this a few times, it was still really an expensive hobby. At that point, I'd just had my daughter as well. I'd been evicted.
Oh my God.
I was teaching. I was really like, I don't know. Really don't know how much more I can do this now. I've got this little person that I'm responsible for.
Yeah.
This is very irresponsible now to keep on doing this sort of vanity project like
Mm-hmm.
before. And so I did tell Demna this. And up until that point, our mutual friend had been saying, you know, a friend of mine, Demna, really likes what you do, and you know, blah blah blah. But it was so abstract. I didn't really know who he was and all of that sort of stuff. So then, you know, when he emailed me and asked me to come over, it was just so brave of him, because I didn't come from a pedigree. You know what I mean? I hadn't been to houses and all. It was really just it was a lot of trust for him to put this. Could I do the job? I mean, it's the first job I'd ever had. You know what I mean? I had no idea. Actually, I found in my house clearing that I was talking about, found a diary, and it was the 6 months. It's absolutely crazy. It's the 6 months just before, 3 months before, and 3 months after Balenciaga. So I write in there, I don't know if I can do this job. I don't know if I've got, you know, all of the anxieties of having a daughter and all of that sort of stuff, and then getting the call from Demna, then a little bit afterwards. And it's so interesting to look back, because you remember it as a memory, but when you've written it down, I'm not an avid diary writer or anything, but you're back in that, the feelings. I really talk about the feeling.
Yeah, that's so interesting.
And it's quite interesting. I only wrote it for that 6 months. The rest of the diary's empty. I was too busy at that point. It was life changing.
Yeah,
it really was. It was. Also, we just got on so well. I think that was it. There was a real connection between us when we met.
Yeah, exactly.
And so everything else was easy because we'd connected.
And I mean, I suppose you say that like you didn't have any pedigree. I mean, I suppose he didn't have any pedigree really.
Well, he'd been in houses.
He'd done Margiela,
and he'd done Vuitton, and he was a designer at Vuitton. And do you know what I mean? He had, and he'd done Vetements, which blew up.
Of course, yeah.
Do you know? So, you know, in terms of sort of like pedigree, fashion pedigree, he had it.
But do you think? What I mean is, do you think that he saw something in you that was sort of? So there was some kind of yeah. And what do you think that you brought to him in the sense of like, you know?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know what I brought to him. You know, I feel that we had it was a combination of us together. It wasn't. We laughed a lot. We liked a lot of the same things. We had a lot of the same references, even though we came from completely different places.
Yeah.
You know, it was an amazing period. You know what I mean? And we built the team together, and you know, a lot of them are still there. It was a very exciting time. It was really exciting for Balenciaga to have him, you know what I mean, at the helm. It felt like a real shift, and to be a part of that and to sort of see it was unbelievable. And then to be able to have not only the money, but which helped me, but also the visibility. People saw me. They did. I wasn't speaking under embargo. You know, it wasn't like you do this work, but you can't talk about it. It's like, no, you're free to talk about it. So it was very generous, I felt. You know,
that's
I
true.
could also tell people I was doing it and not get in trouble.
Yeah.
So, you know, people saw me in a different light. So it was on lots of levels. It was huge. It was like 5 years worth of graft in sort of one go.
It's great.